Welcome back to another episode of Fresh Film Talk. Man, I got one of the most talented guests I've ever had the honor of interviewing. Excuse me, pause. I worked with him on multiple projects. And he's oh my gosh, man, that pause, it got me thinking. Yo, I got Yosiah Johnson now, man, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening? I mean, it's gonna be a great show, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I want to start this out kind of like, just with an icebreaker question. You know what I mean? Just before we get into it. So what happened to Motivational Mondays? You used to drop these videos every Monday, motivational. I think you dropped it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Look, to start off the week right. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Motivational
sir.
to get through it for the rest of the work week, man.
Yep.
So what happened to that, man? Tell me.
So when I first started doing that, it wasn't even that. It was no title. So I used to be in my car, and, I just have a thought. I'm like, man, maybe somebody appreciate this.
Right.
So I get on my phone, I record a video. I'm like, okay, I started doing more often, and people started responding to it. So I was like, let me give it a title. So I gave it a title, but I was continuing to record in my car. So, of course, as I got more into film and, just production, I'm like, okay, how can I take this from the car to like actually make it a product or, a piece of content? So I sat on it for, probably a couple years. And then maybe late 2022, I was like, okay, I want to get back into that. But I don't want to do it in the car. Do I want to really do a podcast? Everybody's kind of doing a podcast. So I was like, you know what? I'll turn it into a series to where it ain't really a podcast. It's not really long form content, but it's still a series of motivational content. So I created the Morning Max, which I launched that last year. So the Morning Max is really a short form version of, Monday Morning Motivation was still a short form version, but it's an audio version. So I literally did strictly audio. I originally did video, but I honestly didn't like the video and how the video was coming out. So I was like, let me just focus on the audio piece. I know I can do the audio. I can record this at my home and I can get this audio out and get it knocked out. So what I'm doing with that, I really want to elevate that and really trying to explore creative ways I can take motivation and maybe how can I include other people or how can I make it into a 15, 20-minute piece of content without it just being a podcast. Hey, shout out to the podcast. I feel like with the motivation piece, I just want to take it in a different direction. So if y'all haven't seen it yet, please check out the Morning Max. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. Apple Podcasts. It's on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. So please check it out. So my goal with that is to really just take that to the next level and really create a piece of content where it's motivation, but it's on another level. Like maybe I have a guest every week to, maybe it's an older lady, who has some piece of advice for people, or maybe it's a kid, but really just creating a piece of content to where it can really be a 20-minute, 30-minute, 20, 25-minute piece of work to where it's like it's moving. I think that's the piece that I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be moving. I didn't want it to be a stationary piece of content like a podcast. I wanted it to be like an active thing and maybe me showing you different things and things like that. So I'm actively working on it, man. I definitely want to bring that back. I think people definitely need motivation more than ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, so a lot of people out here, they're starting their own production companies and everything. I got my own production company called Two Fresh Productions. Check that out when you get a chance.
Check that out.
But I say that just to ask you, you have your own production company called YosiahVision. Tell us a little bit about YosiahVision. What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, man. So YosiahVision, when I got into acting, and honestly, really before that, I always had a passion for just creating from the top to the bottom. Meaning, I love being a part of creating an idea and actually putting the idea together. So for me, it was like, man, I enjoy being an artist, being an actor, musician, but I really want to also get into creating a product or service from the beginning to the end. Meaning, what are we gonna do? What is the logo gonna look like? How are we gonna market it? How are we gonna put it together? And how are we gonna put it together in a way to where people see it in a different light? I'm really big on making sure that whatever we create, we can create something original. And what is it about this particular production that stands out from my last production? So YosiahVision was an opportunity for me to do just that. It was an opportunity for me to really be a part of creating from the top to the end. Usually as an actor, I get the script, you know what I mean? And once I do my job in front of the camera, I'm out of there. But really just having a passion to create. And then YosiahVision really just had a deeper connection for me because I really wanted to use YosiahVision as a platform to do what we do, what you do. You help other talented actors, artists. You give them a platform. You give them a way to create. And a lot of people will be birthed, or a lot of productions will probably be birthed from your production. And I think that's one of my biggest passions, is to basically give people, build a platform to where people can create their own platform. I think us coming from Cincinnati, we didn't have a lot of opportunities and we did not have a lot of resources. And you see us here creating our own resources, creating our own platforms. And I think we just need more of what we're doing. And that's literally what YosiahVision is really not only me having that opportunity to create from the top to the bottom, but also giving a platform for other people to come on. Like, there's so many people that came up to me like, I got a story, I got a script, I got an idea, and it's so hard. It's almost impossible to try to get a script to Hollywood. Or sometimes it's impossible for people to put together an event. So like, even it's so dope that you put together these red carpet events, for these filmmakers, because otherwise they probably had never experienced that. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that, I think that's what we need more of. So yeah, man, I just want to really create a platform for other artists, creators, and business people alike. So
Okay. Well, thank you for saying that. With that being said, so what are some things that Josiah Vision is doing for filmmakers in Cincinnati?
Yeah. So I finished. So I'm technically working on my third project. Well, technically fourth project. I think the first few projects, I think as a creator and a filmmaker or just an artist, you do projects or maybe your first project, and it's kind of like that trial and error thing.
Right.
And it's like, do I call this my first project? You know what I mean? So I kind of been through that, but what YosiahVision is doing now is really giving artists and writers an opportunity. So my goal from here and moving forward into the new year, and I know we will get into that, but my goal is to create an outlet for writers.
Okay.
So we have a lot of writers and we have a lot of individuals with really great ideas. So what I want to kind of transition YosiahVision into doing is producing more.
Yeah.
Meaning, okay, you have an idea. Okay, let's talk about your idea. And if it's an idea that, I feel that, like, no, we can take this somewhere, I want to get behind that. Partner with people and really help their vision become a reality. So, like, that's kind of where I want to shift the business and myself as a creative. I want to shift into producing because, again, we have so many talented artists, man. We have so many talented people. It's just being able to get the message and to get the story told. So that really is the focus. So over the next 12 months, man, you will definitely see a slew of micro shorts, whether it's like a short film that's 3 minutes, and a lot of people, I'm really trying to push them into doing very short pieces of everybody want to come and do a film or a short film. Even a short film is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a small task. I mean, it's not a it's not a small task.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to encourage people to do smaller, like write a scene.
Yeah.
Write your best scene and then we'll shoot it.
Yeah.
I'll get the resources, everybody we need to actually shoot it. We'll shoot it, we start there and we build from there. And I think that's kind of what I'm learning too, is learning to build brick by brick. Mm-hmm. You know, I think we all want the bigger picture, the bigger vision, but sometimes it starts with the smaller pieces. You build those smaller pieces and from there you actually have a house. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So really just opening the door for writers and artists to create or actually shoot their idea or make their idea come to life. So that's the focus.
So a few things.
Yep.
One, where are these writers at? Cause
man,
it's
so many, bro. I try to filter them out, man, because you got people, and let me use the term writers.
Okay.
I don't want to use that loosely because I mean, listen, I know we have writers in the sense of the industry, like writers, but what I mean is there are a lot of people that come to me with ideas.
Okay.
So let me clear that up. So a lot of people come to me with ideas, and for me, it's like flushing the idea out and getting the idea done. See, I think what we don't have is a lot of technical writers, writers that can write scripts. Like that's a piece that we lack for sure.
Yeah.
But like there's no short of ideas in the city, man.
Yeah.
Like it's so many ideas, but when it comes to technical script writers, it's not a lot. But there are a lot of artists and creatives like coming to me with ideas.
Yeah.
So if you need some ideas, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like I feel like a few things. I feel like there are writers out there, but you say, hey, you got something, working on something, but they feel too self-conscious to put it out. They want to be more of a perfectionist. And then it's just like, it's some of those people that do got something, but they hold on to it for something because they feel like it, you know, they want to get funded for something. And it's just like, all right, man, you know what? I'm just going ahead. I'll write something. Yo, I know you direct and try to find and do it. Because some people are like, why don't you direct it? And it's just like, well, I'd rather like, I know more people that want to direct versus, you know, want to write something. So I would sacrifice that just to give other people that.
Is that what you prefer? You prefer, is that your favorite thing? Directing? Is that your favorite? Or
Nah.
So I feel like you like to produce.
I like to produce.
Yeah.
I produce. Yeah. If I could just produce, just go on set, make sure everything cool. Like I like to write too. But if I'm writing a project, I'll foresee myself directing it sometimes.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't mind taking that back seat. Just, you know what? I think this person would bring a good vision to this story, and I can focus on producing, get better at that.
Yeah.
So I can sacrifice that, and then sometimes like I like to shoot some of my stuff too, but it's just that shooting your own project, writing your own project, directing your own project, wearing all those hats, that gets overwhelming.
One of them hats be crazy. Wearing one of those hats, so just wearing all them hats,
right? Man. So now it's just like, okay, now I got to sacrifice that. So this other person can shine because that's all they want to do sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I think depending on the project, I think that's the mentality we should have is like depending on what the project is, should depend on who we actually have direct or who we have act or who we have produce. Because it might be a project that you may be better or you really good at sci-fi projects or you may be really good. So I think it really depends, and I think that's the same approach that I want to have because I don't want to do it all. Right. And I don't want to feel like I gotta direct, right? I don't want to, and I think I've learned that on my first project because I tried to direct it and act in it. And I was like, I'll never say never, but I probably won't direct and act at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see producing and directing maybe, but acting and directing it, like, nah, man. Like, I'd rather find my place on that particular production and be in that space and completely commit to that role, you know what I mean, versus trying to do multiple things. I mean, some people can do it, you know, but those people that do it, they have the top-notch everything. Like, even those, like, big actors, that they direct and act.
But that's all they do though.
Right.
Like, but you, when you did your project, you probably doing the casting,
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
the producing, doing
trying to get everybody together.
You probably wearing 5 different hats that you probably not claiming right now.
Right.
But when you look back on it, was like, yeah, I was just doing these.
So
things.
your mind is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine trying to act and you think about all these other things. Or how much time we got to shoot.
Right.
Oh, you got to. Did it look good? Like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
So, with YosiahVision, so I know you had a lot of success with that, but like, what are some challenges that you face, and how did you overcome those challenges?
I think challenges, man, big thing is resources, man. I think being in Cincinnati, trying to build a media film based business is tough because one, Cincinnati isn't completely the biggest film media hub. Now you have your corporate media, you have media companies in Cincinnati that do work for corporate companies. But you don't have such a big film or a film community to the point where you can get everything you need. You can find crew and and it's not, the culture is not completely there. So like I think with that, it's finding people. Right. And that's a resource. Like having the right people to work on your project to make your project the best it can be. I think a lot of times you kind of run into issues where, people are available and they're not available, or you just can't find the right piece, or you have to settle for this or that, or like, okay, you need audio and you can't find audio, so you got to settle for less audio because you may not have the resources to get the audio person you need, or that person is booked, or it's just not enough. That person might be booked up. So I think the crew, having the resources to actually shoot a quality production, I think that's been my biggest challenge. And I feel like that's kind of the piece that's not holding me back, but I think we still haven't done that right project that's going to that's the one to at least get you in the door. I'm still trying to find that, and I'm still trying to create that. My last project we did technically was a project called oh my God, why did I forget the name of my project? Lord have mercy. Zeal. Yes, I was gonna say Keisha's gonna kill me. So Zeal was like the last project we really tried to get together. So originally we shot a teaser. From the teaser, we was like, we think we got something. So we tried to shoot a pilot, which, man, shooting a 20 to 30 minute piece of anything is tough, especially when you got so many characters and so many locations, and it was a learning experience. But trying to find the right actors for the roles, background, the locations, the crew, the right people to shoot, audio, settling here and there because we don't have this, or the timing is wrong and this person going to be out of town and we got to shoot this, we got to hurry up and shoot it. The weather's changing, so many factors that come into play when you're trying to shoot a production. So I think with Zeal, it was like really a learning curve to say, okay, we have to chisel this all the way back because this vision that we have is way bigger than the budget we got. It's way bigger than the small crew we got. So we have to chisel this back and really focus on a smaller visual of what Zeal can be, and really possibly partner with a bigger production to really bring that idea to life, because what we have, we can't make it happen. And sometimes it's not about saying that you can't do it. It's just about understanding what you need to make it happen. So like you can continue doing something over and over and you keep getting that same result. You got to realize you have to do something different. So I think with Zeal, we was like, okay, this is not working with what we have. We have to understand that we need to cut some things back and really focus on, and we originally had 4 characters, we said we're gonna cut it back down to two, maybe two characters. Focus on two characters because you're trying to write a story with four characters. That's a lot, and you know try to include each one of them. So let's chisel the story back and focus on these two characters, and then we'll build the story from there. So again, it's a learning curve, and I think we us here in Cincinnati, I think we're all learning, man. I think we're learning, and I think what we're going through and the groundwork that we're putting in right now, I think is going to set the tone for the next generation, for all the actors, producers, directors that come after us. They're going to have the crew. They're going to have the culture is going to be here,
right?
Because they used to seeing red carpet. They ain't used to seeing red carpet here, man. Like. You might see a red carpet event maybe once a year, you know, like every other year. But cities like Atlanta, LA, New York, they have them every weekend.
Right.
You know, they got film groups and film meetings every other day.
Yeah.
So like getting used to that. Like even our Thursday meetings, like just getting used to that and getting used to a culture and a community of filmmakers coming together, shooting projects and using each other's resources. I think we have to get used to that and build that culture. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for all of us is creating that culture, creating that community, you know, like that's our biggest challenge. But I think what we doing right now, like it may seem like ain't nothing getting done. But like I think we're literally laying the groundwork for everybody to come after us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
So like in a perfect world, what type of or I guess what budget you looking at for Zeal? If you can
for
get
Zeal, so we talking about the whole season or just a pilot?
So let's talk about let's start off with the pilot.
The pilot, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro. And I have a number came straight to my head. If I was able to really get the budget I wanted to shoot the pilot for Zeal, it'd at least be $100,000, man.
$100,000.
Only because there's so much. Zeal is a sci-fi project, so it's so much set design needed, so much special effects needed, wardrobe needed. I mean, don't get me wrong, like 50,000 may work, right? I mean, 25,000 may work, but when you really sit back and think about all the intricate things, you gotta think about your camera. You gotta think about your crew. You gotta pay your crew.
Yeah.
You gotta pay set design, wardrobe, pay your actors, you know, so it literally adds up. Like, so if you really think about what it would take to really shoot this at a Hollywood level or a level to where it could compete with other television series, I would say 100,000 would be needed to really shoot that pilot the right way to be able to show it to a studio and say like, hey, yo, this is what we got, and for them to see that and be like, we want to buy that.
Yeah.
Here's the budget. Here's what we want to do, et cetera, et cetera. But again, with filmmakers, we make it work. I mean, we make it work with nothing, honestly. So, but really, me just thinking about everything that's needed to shoot a sci-fi project. Yeah. That's why a lot of filmmakers do drama projects because it's cheaper, right? Like you need 2 locations and a couple actors and hey, wear black brown shirt, blue jeans, and it's that easy. Right. So that's why drama is a lot more cheaper. But when you're doing like sci-fi, those Marvel projects, I mean, I can only imagine what those budgets be like. But just shooting a sci-fi project, on a Hollywood level, I would say at least 100,000 for the pilot, man. But hey, man, yeah.
Okay, so like, now I'm gonna ask you this as a filmmaker that's just getting into it. Like, how can I get a budget that high, or like, what can I do in order to like, what?
That's a good question, man. I think so. I've heard, I've sat and listened, and there's actually a few different producers that I had the opportunity to speak with. So, of course, we live in a time where, listen, you don't have to have a long resume. It's just like with college degrees now. Like, you don't technically have to have a college degree to get that job.
Right.
So with filmmaking, I think really it's about creating the vision. It's just like it's the thing about film. film is a business, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if you're trying to get an investment into your business, what do you have to do to make somebody want to buy or invest into what you're doing? You have to create a product that you could see the return on investment. So if Zeal is not created in a way that you don't see that you can get your $100,000 back, at least times two.
Right.
Really, they want times three, but if you don't see that you can make 200, you invest 100,000, you don't see how you can at least make 200,000 from Zeal, then yeah, you probably ain't gonna get that investment.
Right.
So I think a way to be able to get that investment is really creating a product, a marketing plan, and really creating something that someone that could really see it and see like, oh, I see this. I see us making a lot of money. It ain't got to be just a lot of money, but I can see us making money back for this. And I think sometimes, a lot of filmmakers get discouraged when people don't want to invest or buy their film. But I think sometimes it's just about having the right people. Maybe they don't understand that the message, or they don't understand that type of genre of film, or it's just not the right time, or it's just not the right studio or the right production company. So I think it's about getting it in the right hands, because as artists, we artists, right? So our projects are our babies, you know what I mean? So we care about them. So sometimes it's really about getting it in the right hands. So I would tell filmmakers, try your best to really chisel in and focus in on a small aspect of that project till you can really chisel it and make it the best it could be. And you present that, have a marketing plan, meaning how do you want to put it out to the public? And what's the vision for it? What's the legacy of it? Are you going to turn your series into a film? Are you going to create merchandise for it? Are you wanting to go overseas? Or how other ways can you make money from that project? Because you have a series, you can create a podcast off that series. You can create merchandise off that series. People got it where they traveling, have a tour and doing different things. So it's a lot of different ways to make money from your film. So it's just really creating your rollout or your plan in a way to where that investor or that studio executive can see that they can make their return on investment. So
Yeah. So we collaborate on projects together. Yeah. You collaborate on projects with Kisa, who was just on the last episode. So how do you choose the people that you choose to collaborate, especially when it comes to YosiahVision?
Man, at this point, I think starting off, it was about whoever was willing to come out and help. You know what I'm saying? But I think now, being able to do a few projects and having a few projects under my belt and being able to meet certain people in our film community, I think really the focus is really trying to get the right people. Trying to get the right, where if I'm trying to place an actress or an actor, I'm trying to get the right cinematographer, just really trying to figure out what people's strength is. And I think after you work with somebody so long, you kind of figure out like, okay, I know this person can do this, so I ain't even got to think about it. I'm just going to get them on the phone and see if they'll do this.
How do you identify that, though?
I think it's a balance of previous work, and it's a balance of what their ambitions are. Okay. So if, say you, like, I ain't never seen you act or whatever, but you have this ambition and you know what I mean, you showing yourself approved. Look, I ain't acted, like, I know we produce stuff together, but I want to act. And there's an ambition and, I see that potential in you, I give it a shot. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a balance of past experiences and it's a balance of ambition. Do you have that ambition? Because if you have the ambition to really do it, then you're probably going to put the work in to make it happen. Even if, okay, you didn't deliver that line great, but I could work with you because you have that ambition to make it happen. So I think really for me, it's about finding people that are passionate about whatever it is that they want to do or whatever is needed for that particular project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a father, humanitarian, how does YosiahVision mentor the youth?
Yeah, so that's actually something I want to do more, man. That's another big goal of mine going into the new year is really getting back into mentoring youth. Like a few things that I've done on my projects. I've brought in like I brought in a few like I always offered the opportunity for people to come on set to see us work on set. Like I've like young people or just people in general that want to come on set to just see how we work and see how we do and really give them an opportunity to be on set to see if that's something that they want to do. But going into the new year, man, I really want to focus on just being present and really allowing YosiahVision to be a platform. And it's like, hey, yeah, you see me act, or you see me put out a project, or you see me put out music, or you see me put out motivational content, or you see me put together an event, or you see me work with this person, or whatever it is, you can do it too. And maybe it ain't just creating a film. Maybe it's they want to start a business. Okay, I know how to start a business. I can get you going. You know how to market? I actually market. I can get you going. So I think what I want to do, I really want to be able to build a community of youth that really want to make their vision a reality, whatever ideas that they have, because I think that's a big part of our youth is that I think a lot of our young people feel like they can't do whatever it is that they want to do. Like, so they settle for something else. And I think that's a piece that we have to step up and show them like, no, like you can do that. Like you can create a film company too. Like you can create a film company. You can be the CEO of your own film company. You can do it. You want to have a fashion line? You can do it. But I think it's really making them see it and knowing that it's not out of touch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take time, but letting them see that they can actually make that a reality. And that is what YosiahVision is, is really helping people make their actual vision and their idea a reality and saying like, no, you can do it. And I think that comes from me really feeling, being in that place, like I've came up in a time where a lot of things that I tried to do, it was such a struggle for me. And, I think a lot of times that's kind of a lot of us. Like we create our businesses, our passions are based upon the things that we may have lacked in one area of our life, or it comes from places to where we want it to be. So YosiahVision, me coming from that, I wanted to create a platform for people so they didn't have to deal with that no more. So they didn't have to struggle with finding a way to make whatever idea they have a reality. And I think that not only helps them, but it helps everybody around them, say like, no, you ain't gotta play basketball, you ain't gotta play sports, you ain't gotta do this, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And really creating like a true blueprint to say like, man, like I could really do this. I can graduate high school, I can start a business. You ain't gotta go to school. You want to go to college, you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. But really making it reachable for children or the youth to be able to do whatever they want. And again, I think what we're doing, we're literally laying the blueprint. And I think it's so crazy because we so caught up in making it happen that we don't realize what we're doing. 20 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, yo, I can't believe that's what we was doing the whole time. And like even being on this podcast, being able to look back and be like, man, like, can you believe that's what was doing? Like from that, us doing that, even you doing the Two Fresh Film Fest.
Yeah.
Like it may not seem like a big feat to you, but it means a lot to a lot of people because people are watching, man. And sometimes it takes a lot to get people moving, especially in Cincinnati, man. But I think those small bricks, man, I think what we're building, man, is really going to make an impact. And I really hope that we birthed a lot more filmmakers, man. Because I think a lot of the youth really going to be some talented people, man. Like, really, they already know how to work technology, man. They already, you know what I mean? Like, my baby girl is 5, and she know how to work a camera, stop, record, go back. Like, change the brightness. I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
So I'm like, at 5 years old, like they already know how to work the technology in a way. You know what I mean? Like, so I think what we're doing, man, is literally creating the blueprint for them, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Man.
So let's talk about percentage of love. So that's
Yeah.
one of those projects that we kind of talked about earlier, where it's just like, okay, I'll write something,
Yep.
and then you direct it. But it didn't start off that way. So
Yep.
from your perspective, give us the background. Percentage of love.
Yeah, it was that, man. I think we was really just trying to make something happen. When you sent me the script, I was like, I was in, and it honestly kind of reminded me of like those 90s films, sitcoms and stuff like that. So that's why when we was editing the film, I was like, oh, we should throw this in. We should throw this in. Like, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Well, let's go back to like everything though. Like it was part of the winter film.
Yep.
And let's talk about like, you know, how it started off. Like,
yes.
if you remember. I mean,
so I think so. What I remember is you reaching out and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Winter Film Fest.
Yeah.
But I didn't originally. I wasn't going to. I don't think I was going to direct it at first. I think I was just helping you produce it, I believe.
So so I reached out to, because I just had this idea, like, you know what, I want to be able to shoot like at least, I had the idea I want to shoot 10 short films in a year or something like that. So I hit you up and I was like, man, we should do winter film. And I think like this would, you know, and then it's pretty much like whatever role you want to do. And I think you're right. I think you did start off as a producer.
Yeah.
And then we was just like, okay, let's just make you a director. I produce, and then like we'll just find like a team of people that can write whatever. And so we went to the it was some type of gathering they had,
because it wasn't gonna be percentage of love at first, right? You remember?
Right. That's what I was going to say. That's why I was like, bro, you gotta tell it. Oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
we haven't talked about this.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
It was an interesting. So percentage of love came from. Well, so did you really have a concept?
I probably
before the Winter Fest, because you know we had to include the pencil and all that. So did you already have that, and then you added the pencil piece, or?
So that was just. I think that was just like, you know what? Let me try to write something real quick that we can shoot based on the location that we already had.
So before the Winter Fest, then. So that was during Winter Fest.
That was I came with the idea after we was in panic mode.
So was that before the other idea happened?
No, it was actually.
Okay. Yeah. So originally we had another film idea that we were trying to do. So again, this is Winter Fest. Winter Fest, you have a group of people that sign up to be on your team, and you all have to put your heads together to create a film. And the other concept that we had, it was a lot. I mean, it was a decent idea, but it was getting crazy. It was
getting sticky.
Yeah, I think people's feet, toes was getting stepped on, and it was just kind of like clashing. You know, it was like a creative clash, and people was, I don't like this. I don't think that's good, and you know, and it was just becoming something that you just did not want it to be.
Yeah, so like I had to like kind of like. So this is episode King of the Hill where Bobby, he's like the team lead. Do you know what King of the Hill is?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Bobby, he's like, I think he's like he's supposed to be like a captain, and they're throwing like a carnival, and he went to his dad, and Hank was like, there's two types of leaders. You can be passive or you can be stern.
Yeah.
And then he was like, so what kind of leader are you gonna be, Bobby? And then, of course, Bobby chose to be passive. So I kind of like, to me, I think that was like a perfect analogy to that. Because I was kind of like passive. Okay, I want to be super collaborative. Right. I don't want to like, you know, I want everybody to be in it.
That's the balance, bro.
Yeah, and it was just like, okay. And then, like you said, once I feel like it got too convoluted with that, because
everybody felt like not that everybody don't have a voice, but everybody felt like they could just shift the narrative. And it's like, I think that, like you said, you know, that's the struggle with being a passive leader, is that everybody just directing. And, you know, we were supposed to be the leaders, technically. Right. You know, with you being a producer and me being a director, it was like we supposed to make that final decision, but everybody was just stepping in. No, we not do that. Don't do that. I don't like that. Why did you? Why did like
having those Zoom meetings and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and everybody on it.
That was crazy, man.
It
And
was,
then everybody, and this is my thing, especially with building a community here.
Yeah.
Like, people try to act like they know more than everybody else. Or it's like, because I did this, what you do or say doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be that way. You know what I'm saying? That's never the vibe that I want to create, especially not under my brand, or just, I don't never want to create a community or to be around or be a part of a group that where one individual's voice cannot be heard. Like, okay, yeah, you may not never worked on a production, but you still can bring a valuable idea to the set.
Yeah.
Okay, just because you worked on 5 films, I wrote 5 films. Don't do that. Like, I personally don't like that idea. Yes, you worked on 5 projects. Yes, you may have some experience. Perfect. How can you use that to add value? Not use that to take away value by silencing this person because they may have ideas. So I think a lot of that was happening with that, man. So we definitely had to come up with something last minute. And I mean, I think it panned out, man. I think the original idea would have honestly, bro, I think if we would have shot that, I think it probably wouldn't even came. It would have been.
It'd have been a disaster.
It would have been, because it was.
I feel like it was too, like how you said you needed a budget for Zio.
Yep.
You needed a budget for that particular project. Needed a budget, but when you read it, it was just like, it was so good. Like, okay, let's go ahead and shoot it. And it was just like, once it came to like actually trying to execute it, and I also feel like it was stuff like still being added to it.
Yeah.
It was just, and I'm just like, yo, like what's going on? Like I thought,
this has got a time limit on this, right?
And then it was just like, okay, and then one person, they dropped out. And they were like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and drop out, man, because I think this is getting too... And this was like on a meeting. This is after a meeting I wasn't even in. And I was like, yo, like what happened? You know what I mean? Right. So I did. So I took the time and I was like, man, let me read the script. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, you know what? And everybody's had some type of like thought of how the script should go.
Yep.
And I was just like...
We need to change this. We need to change this. This is no good.
Yeah, like, and I was just like, and then I went to go see the location at Union Hall, and that's when I hit you up, and I was like, bro, I know you probably ain't going to hear this right now, but we gonna have to change the script. Like, I was like, man, just give me the weekend. I'll try to write a few things, because at first, initially, I don't think you like Percentage of Love.
No, I didn't. I was just like, well, I think as I was reading it, I think my perception of it was wrong when I was reading it. And then I talked to you. I'm like, oh, I remember talking to you and you said something like, no, it's supposed to be this. And, I'm like, okay, let me reread it. And then when I reread it, I was like, okay, I think we got something. Yeah. And I think when we shot it and we got the actual actors and actually seeing it, you know what I mean, come together. And I mean, it was so crazy that the actors that we had, I think, kind of filled every role like perfectly.
Right.
Like,
because it was kind of like, okay, this is what we have. This is like, and it was kind of like one of those things where you have to say, okay, who still want to do this? We're going to rewrite the script. Here's the script. We want to be part of it. Yep. All right, this is the concept. Okay, y'all still down? Okay, I'll write a part for you. And then some of these parts, okay, we don't got enough time, so this is what I want you to do, but you improvise these lines.
Yep.
And this is the location. We're going to shoot at one location. That's it. You know what I mean?
Helped, that helped too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think, too, like you said, I think having the right people, man. And I think with those film festivals, or not them film festivals, but those competitions like that, it could get sticky because you don't know really who you're working with.
Right.
But I know sometimes people work with the same people or whatever, and I know you can sign up with whoever you want to sign up with. But when you're working with people that you never worked with before, and it can get real muddy. And that was my first time doing that. Like I've never done that before, so I didn't even have that experience of like just working with random people and trying to come up with an idea and trying to make it happen. So I think that was a great experience, bro. I think looking back, I mean, it gave us an opportunity on a leadership standpoint to be like, okay, moving forward, I understand this. Because I mean, we worked on a few different projects, and you know, I think there's been a few different times where there's some opportunities to like, okay, now you have to lead. You know, you have to make this decision, or you know, there's a fire you got to put out. You know, maybe these individuals are button heads, or you know what I mean, things like that. So I think that was really an opportunity, man, because I've experienced conflict amongst creators, but like that in a short time span, like never, bro.
I think what I learned from that was like, you know what, I'll when I work with new people, I'll work with them in their environment, and I'll try to see like
see how they work, see
who's a good fit for like the people that I'm already working with, because I already have a pool of talent that I can pull from.
For sure.
Or even like when we like do our auditions, like okay, I'll see who this person is, you know, give them a chance. But I already had this person in mind who I want to be in the lead. But I might cast this person to be, you know, maybe like a support role or even an extra or whatever. See how they are on set, and if they got good vibe, give them an opportunity. I can write something for you, like okay, I can see you in this particular project. So that's kind of like the way that I've been moving forward. And honestly, like when it comes to like even like the projects we worked on, after Percentage of Love, like I don't think I've ever experienced like any turmoil on set since then. Trying to work. So that's kind of one thing that I learned from that, doing that. But
yeah, man. It's an experience, bro. Like I mean, thinking like learning how to, like, I think work with other people, man, and really learning how to manage the set, bro. Like that's another piece, man. And shoot, that's another piece, man. Keeping the thing flowing. You know, people get caught up. You know what I mean? And you know, everything is time based, man. So it's like you gotta keep that set moving and keep it moving along, man. Like managing your cast, your crew, managing the location, and make sure everything good. Like that's a whole nother set of skills that you really can't go to school for, man.
Right.
Like,
man, I remember we tried to get that location. When I was like, "Yo, come out to this location, Union Hall," and I was like, "Yo, man, like, I think this like we was picking our areas." And then I think when she like a manager or something came up to us. And she, you know, you try to throw on that Yosiah charm, like, "Hey, how you doing, girl? My name is, I'm Josiah Johnson." I'm like, nah.
See, I didn't even know, I didn't even know. I'm thinking we good, we can do, because you know what, we shot there when we was doing B3C. We shot there before, so I'm thinking, if you got access to the building, you got access to the building.
And I'm over here in my head like, bruh, like, stop talking, man. Stop, don't. Yeah, we think about filming here. You know, we're going to use this location right here.
Yeah.
We got, what? Y'all filming?
I'm telling her all the business.
Right.
Like,
y'all filming? Did you guys put in, like, get confirmation for
hey,
that?
at that point, I was like,
who are you guys? What's your email?
Yeah,
Because you've been having people coming in and just... So I gave her my email address.
Like,
but you know what? That was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because they ended up having an event there when we tried to shoot, and she was cool. She was like, okay, just make sure y'all come after this specific time, and we should be done. So I was like, dang. So like that couldn't happen. We come there. It's like, who are y'all?
We would've been
like, nah,
sick,
y'all gotta go. Yeah, I'm like, oh, we really wouldn't have had no project to do. Like what? But that's how that kind of did work out that way.
We made it work, bro. Like, but that's the hustle, man. That's the, you know, being a filmmaker, man. You gotta, like, it's a lot to it, man. I think a lot of people, they think about film and they see films, and you know, they don't see the work that goes behind the camera, and finding locations, and you know, having to work on a time constraint, or having to reshoot, and like really manage the set, manage people. Like, we literally, as directors and producers, you got to manage people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people get into film thinking they got to manage people. They don't really think the first thing they think about when you a filmmaker think about getting into film. Don't think about managing people. But like when you become a director or a producer on set, or if you want to be EP, sometimes your EPs are on set and they managing the set. People don't think about that, man. So I think us. That's what I'm saying. Like we building the blueprint, man. Because I never thought about that. Getting into film, I never thought about that, man. Like all the things and the experiences that we're having, I never thought about that. And these things that you could probably not learn. You probably won't learn in school, man. Like these little intricate things you probably won't learn in school, man. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, so like when it came to the speed dating part and percentage of love,
Yeah.
that part most of it was improv.
Yes.
So you as a director, how were you able to, you know, able to get them to utilize that
Improvisation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how were you able to do that? We couldn't it, by the way. So how were you able to do that, but also able to make sure they stayed in line to have that comedic narrative?
For me, as a director, I think first and foremost, I try my best to allow the actors to act. Like you are the artist, you know what I'm saying? I just want to give you the easel to paint, you know what I mean? And I just want to guide you in a way that you can be the best you can be. So I think when we were doing that or shooting that part, I think it was me letting them know, like, hey, lean into the dialogue, lean into this scene, you know, because this is the scene, this is the comedic part. I mean, we had a lot of comedic parts in the film, but you have to imagine, you know, when people see this, they're going to be laughing. These are the parts. Like this is what we have to lean into. So I think in that part was really just getting them to lean into it and asking them what ideas do you have? Like you in this role, what ideas do you have? What are you thinking? What would you do, or what would you do, or what would this character do in this scenario? So really just trying to feed them in a way and guide them in a way and allow them leeway to be creative. So really just giving them that. And I mean, of course, if it goes too left or it doesn't work, you know, let's scale back on that. Let's reshoot that. Okay, let's keep that, but maybe do it this way. And I think another thing that we did, if I can remember correctly, we shot a few different ways. And I think we've done it on a few different productions where it's like, okay, we originally wrote it for it to be like this, but like, let's shoot it that way too. So we have it. So I think that was another thing to where, okay, let's shoot it like this, but then let's shoot it two other ways. So we have that option and that variety to kind of work with in post. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what type of message do you want the audience to get from Percentage of Love?
Man, I honestly, bro, I want people to laugh, have fun. Percentage of Love for me is nothing serious. It's a opportunity for us to laugh at love and actually see love happen in its natural state. I think that's what it was for me. And I think the goal was for people to see something and be entertained, humored, and just have a good time with the project. I think that's what it was about. I think every project has its purpose. And, you know, sometimes the purpose ain't serious. Like, oh, we want you to really be able to find love and be able to find a new way to find the love that you want. I think Percentage of Love was a project to entertain. And I think it just had an interesting ending in how our main character found love. But for me, it was a fun project, man. It was just something for people to be able to see this character trying to find love, and, you know, his goal was to find love and him to find it in a humorous way. So yeah.
Man, I remember when you sent me those voiceovers.
Oh,
bruh. Cause I was like, I'm thinking like we done. I'm gonna go ahead and send this and submit it.
Yeah.
Why don't you what you think about including these voiceovers here?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like,
Nah, he ain't like it. Nah, he ain't like it.
Dumbass
You sure you want to do that?
Right.
You sure?
All right.
And I was trying to like to paint it in a way. That's why I have referred to like those 90s joints to be like, this is kind of what I see, and, you know, it was refreshing. But I think I'm always trying to push it a little bit further. Like, just make sure that we've explored every avenue we can before we say we call it a rap. You know what I'm saying? So if it's like, if it's a vision or an idea that you have, like, let's do it before we call it a rap. Or if anybody else got anything else, let's explore it. You know what I mean? Before we call it a rap. So I think sometimes it's like that. Like somebody pitch an idea that like when you first hear, you be like, I don't know about that.
Man.
But
Cause I was like, oh, I thought we was done. I'm like, all
yeah,
right, cause like even like after I put it together, I was like, I don't think this is enough, and that's when I was like,
yeah,
man, let me add this. But I pitched that part to you, like, let me add this poetry part to it, and
yeah,
it kind of
yeah,
had like some elements that
yeah,
was influenced by Moesha,
yeah.
and put it in
See,
there.
90s. That was a
Yeah,
90s vibe.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
okay, and then it was just like, okay, now I gotta reach out to like couples
yeah.
and like try to get that. So that
Yeah,
was a
that
whole
definitely added to it because I feel like
yeah.
if we would have left it as is, it would have been cool. But I feel like it just added
Yeah.
more element to it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
and then like with your what you putting in those voiceovers too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna put them in. So me and my wife works from home, and my editing station is like right behind hers. So I remember like putting it in, and like she's not even looking at the screen. So I put it in, and I play it, and I just hear it. And I'm looking back, and she's like, "Oh, okay, like
Yeah.
maybe he on to something, okay." So I'll put them in there,
Yeah.
and then I just remember screening them
Mm-hmm.
for our cast,
Yep.
and they're like, "Man, they got so weak because like
Yeah.
they just do their lines, and that's
Right.
pretty much it. The once they
Yeah.
see the finished product, so." They're like, man,
It's a
it
whole
felt
different
like it was like,
experience.
yeah, it felt like, man, this is probably one of the funniest movies out
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I went to that, which is segue into my next question. Like, what was your experience like when we screened it at Winter Film? So I can tell you like what my experience was, and then you can probably follow up on that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Yeah.
pretty
For
sure.
sure. For sure.
So I walked in. I had my boy there. He did some of the music on the
Just
percentage of
Mike,
love.
right?
Mike
Yeah.
Will on sax.
Got you.
So we got nominated for like what wardrobe
Yeah.
and editing
Yep.
and music. So I knew we had that music one the
Right.
bad. I just knew it. So like I can't you remember how I can't I was like
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
so I can't
Suited
just
and booted.
yeah man. I was like okay cool. So I was like man I'm a power fan. So like when they had that 2 level, they had a lower level and a higher level.
Yeah.
So I was like man I'm gonna watch this at the higher level
Right.
in the middle, feeling like Ghost. Like it's like
Right.
that's how I feel like Ghost right there. I'm like man I'm the man right now. I got my
Yeah.
shades on and everything. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell me nothing right now. So like ours is like the last block, and that's when everybody started coming in.
Yeah.
So so like 10 minutes before they screened our film, they're like, "Yo, we about to screen the film in 10 minutes." All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
More people start coming in. So like the block before that, they at least announced like a minute before
Right.
saying like
Yep.
or like 30 seconds. Okay, we about to start screening. Everybody be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they just showed our joint, man.
So right, everybody didn't get a chance to sit down yet.
They just showed
People,
it. Yeah.
people still getting situated.
Yeah, and like you can see the people in the front. So I see the people in the front, they over here getting weak, but like everybody in the back. So you just hear a whole bunch of noise.
Right.
In your mind, you gonna say, I want to look back and say, shut the F up.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Or restart it. Like,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, like, but man, that left the like, I don't know, I still get like PTSD from that.
You know what? What I said to you before, man, and you know, this is me. This is my personal. It ain't really my personal outlook. I think it is what it is. I think,
Yeah.
for me personally, I think Percentage of Love was screened for the wrong audience.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not saying that anybody can't watch the film and enjoy it. I'm just saying I think that winter film audience is used to a particular type of film.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. You know, I ain't even saying it's a color thing. I ain't saying it's a race thing. I think
More like a cultural thing. I think.
cultural.
Yeah.
There it is. I think what we did, themes from Moesha.
Yeah.
You know, 90s themes. You know, you hear his thoughts out loud. Like,
Right.
I think certain groups of people culturally will be able to connect to that more. And that's what I said afterwards. I was just like, I just think we need to take this film to the right audience. And I think it'll be a bigger impact with the right audience.
Yeah, so like that's when cause honestly I was just like throwing in films for like the film festival. So I was like, okay, let me throw in not throwing in like throwing in like that, but like just to like I got my core films that I want to show, but in order to like expand the time, let me throw in Percentage of Love just to see like what type of reaction it would get. Like, was it in my head or whatever? And it got a good response there. So I'm like, okay, like you said, because the type of audience that was there was mostly African American. But like when I screened it at the Black Film Series, people that came, they still were getting weak at it. You know what I mean? When we screened it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, did I screen it one more time? Yeah, I screened it at the that red carpet event that I just
Oh, you
had.
did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
screened it there.
Okay, cool.
And
Cool.
like, a lot of people were getting it was,
Yeah.
and that was a mixed crowd, and
Oh,
it
okay.
still got
Yeah.
that reaction. I just feel like we didn't get the proper, I don't want to say etiquette, but we didn't get the
Yeah.
proper like introduction to our film because
Yep.
it was the first one,
Yep.
and they just screened it.
They just
you
screened
know?
it. It was just thrown out there. It was like, and that's the only thing with those competitions. Is like going in with that mindset that they just gonna play your film. Like you basically got to put something together where it's like the average Joe can just get their attention caught on, and you should just keep them for that amount of minutes, and that's it. Not really doing something that you would be passionate about, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it works for some people. I think some people culturally can just do whatever they want, whatever their personal passion is. But I think things that we're trying to do, I think we have to realize that some projects are for certain audiences, and I think that's a real thing because even in the film business, they select certain films based upon the audience, and they basically kind of estimate what it's going to sell, depending on, okay, we're going to come up with the budget depending on how much we think we can estimate that we can make back. And it's another thing that Netflix does. I don't know if you ever realize this, but like Netflix, depending on what you watch, they'll show the movie poster based upon you. So I caught on to this a while ago. So of course I watch a lot of black shows, movies, whatever. So a lot of the times Netflix will show me the movie poster with a black actor, but then you watch the movie, that black actor is barely in the movie. But you look at the poster, you be thinking that's the main actor, and you're like, oh, okay, I know, dude. Whatever.
Because you will watch Juice, like, okay, so Netflix would have like a poster for Juice with Tupac and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
But Samuel Jackson,
so they show
two parts.
They market on Netflix in the way that it connects to you culturally, or based upon what they believe would get your attention. Like if we show, like we know we got this particular person in here, based upon their watching history, we gonna use this poster, and that's kind of how they work it, man. So it's really about that culture. That's the marketing piece, man. It's about that culture. So I think like going in, I was telling you like maybe we should, depending on what film we do or what film we're trying to show on film festivals, we should focus on the film festivals that would probably connect to our film versus just going. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with just submitting to all of them. I mean, because, hey, you just may hit. You never know. But, I mean, it's like playing the lottery at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I also feel like from percentage of love, just from an editing standpoint, I feel like I've grown a lot. Like some things that I wish that I know now that I would have done then, but it's like too late because it's too late now. All that footage is gone, so it's kind of like.
I mean, that's the experience. That's the experience, though, bro. Like, and I think, I mean, that's the part of the growing, man. And it's like I think even when I go back to my real first project, which is Abandoned, which I don't really talk about. I tell people Conviction is my first project.
Oh man!
But really, I don't feel like Conviction is really my first project, but it is. You know what I mean? Those are my projects, and I mean, as much as we look back on them and be like, I hate this, and I wish this was better.
Cause you grow so much.
Process. Yeah.
You grow so much from that, and it's just like, man,
you can't throw that to the side like it's a part of your growth, man.
It is,
and it allows people to see where you come from. Like, oh, they started there and they got here. Like, oh shoot.
Cause that's why I feel like with Percentage of Love, it was just like the audio is so, and it was just like what I screen is more, and I'm like, cause I still have like that negative impact for Winter Film. Not to like I'm dissing Winter Film or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just from that. But also in addition to that build up, because I'm coming from a place where we did 48 hours, and the teams that I work with, they didn't submit their films on time. So the film that I get submitted on time, like it's not even getting the proper.
So you won't get no award or anything because you submitted it late. Is that how that work?
Yeah, that's how that work. Like if we didn't submit a film on time, you don't get.
So you just submitting it to just have it show.
Right. So as long as you you don't submit it on time, but as long as you submit it, it still gets screened, but you won't get nominated for stuff.
Gotcha.
And I feel like the one the ones that we did, I feel like that they both could have got nominated
Yeah.
at least. You know what I mean? If
Right.
not won something,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it was. So I'm coming from a place like that, and I still
Yeah.
got like, even though I get good reactions from it now for a percentage of love, I still got that. It's still that okay. Even in the growth thing too, like okay,
Yeah.
I've done more films since then. I feel like I've grown a little bit more since then. So I don't know. I guess it's time to. I won't say retire it, but I retire it. Put it on
Yeah.
YouTube. People can watch it.
Just throw it out there, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
man.
because they're like, yo, throw it in film festival. I'm like, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think so. But
Yeah. I'm not big. I'm personally, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not big on competitions, man. Like,
so what's your thought on film festivals? Just not the I
don't
mean
like 'em.
versus the because you have competitions and then you have film festivals. What's your thought?
like if we just screening films, that's cool. But
Yeah.
like competitions where it's like, you know, like Winterfest, like for me, I don't believe that. I think, well, one, I believe that the people that judging these films are probably have some type of relationship with the
Yeah.
film community. So I think some people probably already got favor, you know, and they have a small sight on what it is that they like or that they want. And I'm not saying that they don't have a taste for film and can't see a film and judge a film. You know, I'm not saying that. But I think in our small community, I think I don't know. I just the competition when it comes to film, man. It's just I just don't rock with it, man. Like I rock with film festivals. If we showing films, great.
Yeah.
Giving a platform for films to be shown, that's great. But and I mean even awards, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think the competitions like Winterfest, I think it's just I don't think it's wholesome, man. I think it's an opportunity, and I don't think it should go away or nothing like that. I think it's an opportunity for people to create films. I mean, so anytime you have that opportunity, it's great. But I just think the competition of it is not wholesome for me. To me,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I think about it. I mean, you trying to have somebody create a film in a few minutes or a few whatever that time base is, and then again just understanding who are the people judging, and you know some of these people probably been the judges for years, and it's ran by the same people, and it's the same people probably doing the Winterfest every year. So I think you just kind of find yourself in a place where it's like, okay, it's you versus all these relationships they done build. And I'm not saying that the Winterfest in general or any other Winterfest is like that. I think my personal opinion is just with the way they're set up. And I think, you know, it can kind of get even political, you know what I mean? Like based upon like who you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't about that your film was really better than all those other films. It was about like they know this person and you know what I mean? So they're gonna give it to them. Like, okay, if it's my film versus your film, and both our films are equally good, but they know you, or there was a relationship there, I feel like they're gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it is. And I think, I don't know. I just want it to be wholesome. Wholesome meaning, I would love if competitions like that for people to be able to walk away with something. And it ain't gotta be an award, but walk away with some type of skill set, some type of information, some type of knowledge, something wholesome that they can take into their next project or into their film career. So that may be the beginning of somebody's film career. Right. What can they take from that? You know what I mean? Versus they didn't win. What do you do with that? Do you just like, oh, I lost, I'm going to come back bigger and better? You know what I mean? Is that what you do, or do you? I just don't understand what you take from things like that. You know what I mean? So like, here's an example. Okay. Like, say we both our films are top contenders, and you win, I lose. So okay, the losers are the people that didn't win. How about next month we're gonna do a film mixer. We're gonna have people come in, and we want you all to show your films, and we're gonna actually give you not critique, but ways to improve your film. And we think we could do this film or this film could have did better in this area, or we would love to connect you with these people, and we think, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is like things like that, just created in a way where it can be wholesome, where it can add value to the film community, especially in a community like Cincinnati, because we're so small,
Right.
underfunded, understaffed. You know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
don't have a big crew. We're not like one of the big major cities. We don't have a major film community. You know what I mean? So we're up and coming. So I think with competitions like that, I just would love for it to be wholesome and be full 360.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll give my perspective. I feel like it's what you go into it, what do you hope to get out of it? So if you hope to get to win something, or if that's your main goal, because like you said, everything's gonna be pretty much, you don't know if it's gonna be, if you're gonna get a fair shake, or if it's gonna be political.
Yeah.
So if you go in there, at least when I go in there, I don't go with the mind state of winning. I go in the mind state of what can I gain from this.
Yeah.
So like one of the goals that I wanted to when I did it is I wanted to gain more of a pool of actors or crew members that I can utilize for other projects outside of this.
Yep.
I wanted to at least get the challenge of, okay, working with other people I never worked with before,
sure,
and
sure.
how can I adapt and do that. So you got to go with the mind state of something like that, what you can get out of it, besides of, if it's besides just winning. If your mindset is just winning and you don't win,
And I don't even think it should be like, I think for me, I think you absolutely have to go in with that mindset, because I mean, it ain't just about winning. You know what I mean? I think I just would love for those competition like that to facilitate a wholesome approach, and meaning like the whole piece. Okay, you invited all these filmmakers and actors and actresses into your program and your competition. So how are we going to 360 fulfill the purpose of what we're trying to do? So clearly it was a wholesome approach in the beginning, because they want to create a platform for people to work together, but the competition aspect of it can't be the main piece. You know what I mean?
Right.
It has to be focusing on creating and facilitating that community. So for me, it's just like the competition not being the center of it all. The center of it, letting the focus of the Winter Film Fest to be about uniting the community and bringing the community together and helping the community get better. Versus it's like the competition, and for what I know, they have a few mixers leading up to the competition, and then it's the competition, and then see y'all next year.
Right.
But I think that's my issue with the competition being the centerpiece, and after the competition is just bye. But like, how can we create this thing, you know what I mean, on a year? No, it ain't got to be a year long, but like creating this thing to where it can be, again, a wholesome approach where filmmakers can walk away. Maybe they don't walk away with an award, but they walk away with knowledge and wisdom and how to make their films better, and continue to get better and connect.
I kind of think it does. I feel like like you said, I see what you're saying. Like, how could this be not just for the first quarter of the year, but how can this be, expanded a little bit more? Like maybe like the second, third quarter of the year. How can this feel more of a yearly thing? But I feel like you gotta like kind of like do that part as a creative. Like, okay, how can you flip it and utilize it? You know what I mean? So like, when they had their events and stuff like that, I'm thinking about doing it again this year, but if I do it, I'm gonna try to be creative with it. How can I get content from this? How can I do this? Because usually, I mean, that's what it is anyways. It's kind of like, even if you win something, it's like, it's winter film, not to belittle it, but it's like, oh, okay, you won winter film. Like, okay, what's that?
Right.
So it's like, but it'll be cool to be like, you won it, but how can you flip that? How can you make it more value? So you can put on your poster, winter film nominee, winter film winner. You know what I mean? And you can utilize it that way, and then also make content from it. So like, if I go again, I'll probably try to get a videographer, somebody to get, or a photographer, somebody to get BTS stuff while I'm there, and I can use that as content to uplift me, but also get some shine on winter film too, because maybe they need a little bit of that, or a little bit more shine and stuff like that.
That's making it wholesome.
Yeah.
So you're taking it and connecting. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
making it more. It ain't just about the competition. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's about connecting, and I think that would be great. Like that would
Yeah.
help. And like you said, I mean, I think in anything you do, you have to go in with the mindset of knowing, okay, you may get 1,000 no's, or
Right.
you may lose 1,000 times, but all you need is that one yes, or you got to make the opportunity, or you got to create the opportunity yourself. So I think that's absolutely the mindset you have to go in with. I think with our community and what we come from, I think it's very important again for us to create a wholesome experience. Like even with you, think about this, right? Like you've given a platform to actors and actresses, but then you flipped it and did a red carpet event,
Yeah.
and then you flip it and say, got a podcast, I'm gonna bring you
Yeah.
on, I'm gonna give you light,
Right.
you know what I mean, or I'm gonna interview you, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's that wholesome. Like we gonna do this 360. We gonna cover every base of it.
Yeah.
So you didn't stop it. I'm doing films, and yeah, you did all right. I ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? It's like nah. You continue to bring those same people around,
Yeah.
and you give them opportunities in different places. So I think that's what we have to do in our community for us to thrive and grow. Like it has
Yeah.
to be that wholesome 360 approach, man. Like
Yeah, because it's like, at least, because I know you come from the same place too, where it's just like, yo, when we make these films, we limit it on budget. So a lot of
yeah,
times people are doing this stuff out of the kindness of their heart for
free,
free. So I at least want to, do something where you can show what we've done and put it on a bigger scale, not just like, because we've done our premieres at the library, not the big little
yeah.
library, but it's just like, yo, if the opportunity was given,
Yeah.
let's do a red carpet. Let's really celebrate what we've done, and like let's show our family members like what we've done
Right.
as well. And like what I'm trying to do now is figure out an aspect where everybody gets paid, everybody gets money from this, because it can. This is I don't want people to get exhausted from it, and it's just like I don't have anything to show for it. So I try to do events like these red carpet events, and I'm trying to create events where it's just like, okay, wake up the hustler in you, and let's all get paid from it, because at the end of the day, these are things we can get paid from. We just have to tap in and figure out these things that are out there, these markets that's out there that's untapped. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's out there. We just gotta execute it and do it.
For sure. I agree. Absolutely agree, man. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, man, I know we kind of talked a little lot about that, but let's talk a little bit of. I might have to say this. We might have to say this for a different episode. What you got going on for 2025?
2025, man. So I got a few different projects that's still in the works. So I have a few short films. Actually, let me go back. So one of my big aspirations this year is to shoot several microfilms, and by that we talking no longer than 3 minutes. So my focus for a while was shooting short films, and I was trying to do the series. So like going back to what we was talking about earlier, really me chiseling down and really focusing in on an idea and a concept and shooting it as best I can, and then taking it to a bigger production company. So I want to shoot a few different film ideas. So we talking shooting maybe a scene or two, and really being able to produce that scene at a high level and pitch this film or that series to a production company to get it shot at a higher level, and then taking that higher level pilot or teaser or whatever and taking it to a studio. So my goal is really to focus in, man, on several different concepts. So we have Zeal. Zeal is still a prominent production under YosiahVision. I have a few films that I want to do, but again, we're gonna shoot those at a micro level and put those out, get some buzz around them, and really use social media to our advantage, and really kind of get the buzz around some of these visual concepts. Another thing I'm doing is what we talked about earlier. Is I really want to spend some time with the youth, and what I mean by that is maybe putting a few dates on the calendar, and kind of getting some buzz about gathering some youth, maybe get some filmmakers, maybe yourself or some other creatives in the city to where they could come and talk to us. We can talk to them and see what where their minds are, what they want to do, and possibly walk away with a few of the youth that are interested in any creative endeavor, and possibly kind of work with them and help them actually make their visions a reality, and really kind of give them the starter tools, the starter information to get them started. And it'd be really great to get some young teens. I mean, hey, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking 12 to 18. That's kind of like the age range I'm thinking. But it would really be great to get that age group of people to really kind of come out and really get them, started early, man. And maybe at some point we put a group of them together and we shoot a short film or a microfilm, and they see it and be like, wow, I can't believe we did that. They excited. And that's the thing about the youth. The youth, they got the energy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got really fresh ideas. They're really technical. So I think that's another piece of 2025 is really spending some time, like I said, at least getting 4 dates on the calendar, maybe a date every quarter, and meeting with them. And then maybe that last quarter we actually spend that time to shoot a project or put together a project event or whatever. So yeah, man, really focusing in on the foundation of YosiahVision, creating and really giving a platform for the youth and those that really want to see their vision come to life, man. So yeah, man, and hopefully collaborating with you again, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Other creatives, Brianna, looking forward to collaborating with her.
Y'all doing something together, ain't y'all?
Yeah. So she has a film, a short film that she is looking to shoot this year. So I'm just looking to really help her make that happen. She's been helping me out with the last few projects, man.
Okay,
yeah. Like with just no question, just like, hey, that's what you're doing. Cool, I'm there, and just showing up. So like, she's just another person that I think is going to be a really great filmmaker and producer. And I think my goal with her was really to push her, because if you don't have that natural innate ability to just get in front of people and lead people,
right,
then it's gonna seem a little scary to do a film, But I think she has what it takes.
For sure.
She's been on set. She's she put the work in. She put the time in.
Yeah.
So I said, look, she with her project, she was like, trying to find somebody to direct it. I'm like, no, you direct it. Like you sometimes you just gotta jump out there and do it, make no mistakes, learn and grow, but do it, man. But yeah, man. So that's the focus. Really producing high quality content, really focus on high quality content, man. And hopefully I'm hoping that something that we do this year breaks us through and kind of gives us that or just open that door for us, to continue to create and open doors for others, man.
And shout out to Bree Lack, man.
Yeah,
she the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why I was hoping she would do her project this year, man.
Winter film?
Nah, her project that she
I know. And I told her, I'm like, I would love for you to do it, but I understand waiting, because there's no need to rush, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I would love for you to do it now, but it's no need to rush. So but I told her, I'm like, I seen her recently, I'm like, look, it's the winter time, like everybody chilling. This is the time for pre-production, getting your locations ready to go. So when as soon as winter break, you know what I'm saying, you can hit the ground running, man. So
yeah, man. And then you got plays coming up, right? Or
so that was a stage play reading that I was involved in. Shout out to Bertha Lynn Davis, which was dope, because I haven't even done nothing stage since I started acting. Like one of my first projects was a stage play.
Hey, let me ask you this question. What's up with the black tights Which y'all like?
I don't wear those. I don't know what you're talking. Those is
Man,
that's ballet. Ain't
y'all always wearing black. How I was like, even Josiah wearing tight pants.
No,
Bruh, y'all was wearing.
no. That's ballet.
I got the pics, bro.
Nah,
I'm telling you,
it may be fitted. It might have been fitted pants,
man,
but no.
y'all was wearing some tights, bro.
Nah, I ain't never seen that.
I was like,
It must be. It must be AI, bro. It must be AI.
Y'all had the tights on. I was like, but then when I watched it, it made sense for some of the females that had the tights on.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, my boy was like,
yeah, you might got the wrong picture, bro. I don't know about that.
But well, okay, so like that was a stage. That was like a stage play reading.
Yeah, so I know she's going to do that stage play
Yeah.
next year though. So I don't know if I haven't been asked to be a part of it yet, but
Okay.
I would love to. I think, stage is different, bro. Like I was telling them, like, it was some of the other actors, you know, some of them do stage and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Some of them did film. I'm like, bro, stage and film is two total different beasts, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I personally, I love the challenge.
Yeah.
But I love film, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I love how creative you can be. I ain't say you can't be creative on stage, but I just love how creative you can be, you know, with the film. So my mindset, like, you have to, like, really switch your mindset. Like, you know, with film, you just so used to having to cheat yourself or you know, cheat the shot or, you know, being, you know, right for the camera. But with the stage, is you playing to the crowd. So you can't have your back against the crowd. You know, you can't do that. Like, so it's really about what you're playing to. Like, with film, you playing to the camera. So you have to focus on what a camera is and how the camera looks or how you look on camera.
Right.
But on stage, it's about how the audience perceive you. So it's two total different beasts, man. But I still really love film, but stage is a beast. Shout out to all the stage actors and actresses, bro.
It was cool to, like, just to see people that you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll even film and stuff like that. But like you, Brianna, and Bertha, y'all element doing y'all thing. See y'all in a different element and be able to, like, not to witness it. You know what I mean? But
sure,
like witness it 100%. Because like when we be on set, it's like I'm witnessing it, but I'm also focusing on all the things.
So you can't really enjoy it. For real.
Right. So being able to sit down, see, it's like, oh, okay, look at y'all.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Josiah out here singing out here.
Oh, bro. I was like, hold on, man. And you know what's so crazy, bro? Like, so I got the script, and I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't get a chance to fully read it before the first reading.
Okay.
So I read a couple pages. I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to at least get the vibe real quick because I don't know what was going on. I just didn't have time to read all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way to the read and get to the reading.
Mm-hmm.
So this part come up where it's singing. I'm like, hold on. I'm supposed to sing. I'm like, first, I hope you don't think I'm singing. I'm hoping it's just like me being funny, but you know, it was kind of like I was supposed to be doing karaoke. So I was just like, but I didn't even know that. So actors, look, read your scripts.
Yeah.
Before you get to the read. That was bad. That was shame on me, bro. Shame on me.
At least you was singing, man. Could have been
bro.
a whole lot worse.
Man, bro. I would have been sick if I would have got there and she's like, oh, I thought you could sing. You got the script. It said sing. So I'm expecting you to sing. I would have been like, oh, and you the one put me on to that.
Yeah, she was just, but she said, I need somebody, a young African American male. And I was just like, yo, like that could. I figured what the description was, but then I sent her. I didn't know what else. I didn't know what it was for.
I'm like, singing. There ain't no
she ain't say nothing about
Broadway.
She ain't say nothing about singing and nothing like that. She just like, I just need this look.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's shame on me though, bro. Like I definitely should have read that, but I was like, we literally reading. I'm literally going to the next page. I'm like, oh, my part says I gotta sing. I'm like. I was like, oh, hold on, wait. I'm supposed to sing? She look at me like, do you not read the script? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then she literally, the week leading up, y'all got any questions? I'm like, nah, I ain't got no questions.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, but
shout out to Bertha.
Bro. It was dope, man. Super dope.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to tell the audience before we head on out, man?
Nah, man. Definitely look out for us. Follow us on social media at YosiahVision. Yeah, man, just look out for what we got going on, man. Tap into Too Fresh, man. Hopefully some of our projects get on YouTube so y'all can check those out. And yeah, man, just look out for what we got going on. I'm really focusing my energy on YosiahVision and building that content catalog. So make sure y'all follow us and see what we got going on, man. So yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
All right, you heard from the Cincinnati legend himself. All right. Yeah, so remember, audience, stay fresh.
Yes.
And we out.